All right, we are ready when you are.
Great, thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Thursday, June 15th, 2023 Henrietta Town Board meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Zafranik.
Here.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Here.
Councilmember Page.
Here.
Councilmember Belanca.
Here.
Supervisor Schultz.
Here. We'll begin the meeting with a silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 24th, 2023 town board meeting. Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Zafranik.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page.
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. We're going to do one of our resolutions first. Is there Julio or a member of his family present by any chance? All right. Julio, sorry.
And it
I
is,
should know that from jalapeno.
all right, should I make my?
Yep.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13-215, 2023. Whereas Julio Hervel Mantilla Sanchez has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout in Boy Scout Troop 332. And whereas to achieve that rank, Julio earned merit badges in 31 disciplines, including swimming, which is his favorite sport, and citizenship in society, one of the first merit badges to teach scouts about diversity, equity, and inclusion, while fostering a culture of respect, which contributed to him earning a bronze and a gold palm. And whereas during his time in Scouts, Julio held the positions of quartermaster, webmaster, and senior patrol leader for nearly 3 full years, and is a certified lifeguard and water safety instructor. And whereas Julio graduates this spring from Rush Henrietta Senior High School, where he was a member of the varsity track and field team and co-captain of the varsity swim team, being recognized with the Spring Morals Memorial Sportsmanship Award and Section 5 championships in 2021. And as a scholar by the Ibero-American Action League and Urban League of Rochester. Julio has been accepted to Alfred State College, where he will be pursuing a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering technology with a minor in business administration. And whereas for his Eagle Scout project, Julio led a team of 15 volunteers who improved a pathway, installed stormwater pipes and trenches, and built a bridge to connect the east entrance campsites to the lakeshore portion of Beechwood State Park, earning Project of the Month in February from the Erie Trails Council. Therefore, be it resolved that the Henrietta Town Board joins the Loyal Order of the Moose Family Center, number 2290, sponsors of Troop 332, in recognizing the achievement and honor of Julio Hervel Mantilla Sanchez in attaining the rank of Eagle Scout.
I will second. It always amazes me the amount of stuff Eagle Scouts do. My son was in Boy Scouts, and I was just saying how he got to the point where he's stopped at Life Scout because some of his friends eagled out and others dropped out, and he just it's an amazingly small percentage of Boy Scouts who make it all the way through to Eagle. And it just is a great indication of, that resolve to meet that end goal. And, to have your Eagle Scout project recognized by the Seneca, is it Seneca Waterways?
No, the Erie Trails Council.
Oh, Erie Trails Council. Okay. Is pretty impressive. So, congratulations, and, just amazed at all you guys do. We are going to, yeah.
Yeah, your background and all of your accomplishments are just really amazing. And I really appreciate you coming here so that we can recognize you. But I think really it speaks to persistence. Is my son too, never went past Life Scout. And it takes a lot of persistence and self-push to be able to get through that. And that's going to serve you well in your life.
It's really incredible to look at everything that you've done, and you're so young. I can't wait to see what you do in the next 20 years. I mean, this is amazing, your dedication and how you've achieved this. And we all know how difficult that is, but just everything else that you've done is absolutely incredible. And what a testament to what a wonderful young man that you are. And as I said, I can't wait to see where you go.
Best of luck, Julio. Having an Eagle Scout on your resume is one of the top things that will pay off dividends for you in the future. And I wish you the best of luck at Alfred State, and best of luck in the future. Make RH proud.
And I'll, just to not just throw my son under the bus, I also didn't make it to Eagle Scout. I didn't even make it to Life Scout, so he did a lot better than I did. I'm actually, that one, okay, I'm actually gonna call, so I don't forget, I'm gonna call the roll first, and then we'll
Okay.
present it to you and get some pictures, so. Well, is there anyone else who would wish to make a discussion or comment? I don't know if you want to say anything, Julio, or not, or you. Yep,
Yeah, come
coming up,
on up.
absolutely.
Love to hear from
Good
you.
practice for your
Mhm.
Eagle ceremony.
Yeah, that's coming up very soon. This one on.
That's it, yep.
The only thing I could really say about being an Eagle Scout and making the rank, is like you said, it's persistence. But mostly you have a lot of fear along the way, and you're nervous because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know the next challenge you're overcoming. But the one key thing I can tell anyone or future scouts or kids in the future, they want to make Eagle, it's confidence. You can be staring at a brick wall and having to climb over it, but it's just confidence that'll get you there. Confidence will push you through your obstacles that'll come to you, even outside of scouting. So stay strong mentally, physically, and morally, and that'll get you through life.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
that is great. Any further comments? And hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Congratulations, and like I said, we're gonna now present.
Do you have the right one?
What's it?
Do you have the-
You want to come, Billy? You read it all, and grab the right one.
Yes, you did. Brett.
I did grab. it.
Yes, I did too. Yep, I'll take a picture.
Okay. And I think I have when your ceremony is, but if not, you can email that to me, because I'd love to be there and present it if possible. Thanks, and thank you. Congratulations. Eagle Scout scholarships, those kinds of things, those are our favorite agenda items. No offense to the people here for special use permits, but I think you'd probably agree with us. Our first public hearing and presentation, special use permit is the Historic Site Committee 2023 Architectural Heritage Award. Is it Gary or
Steve,
Tina?
I think someone just walked in. Should we get a picture of
He was.
her with him with the award that we just gave him before we call this up? She just missed it.
Did,
Julio, is this your mom?
Yeah.
Should we
Should we reread it?
reread it? Because this is important.
This is important.
It's okay. It happens to all of us.
What day is it, the ceremony?
Yeah, let's redo it.
As a parent, this is a
Yeah.
very proud moment, so forgive
It
us, we're
is.
going to redo.
It is. Mhm. And, now that I have the chance, did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Julio Jarrell.
Jarrell, oh, Mantilla Sanchez. Okay, yeah. All right, so, Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13 -215, 2023. Whereas Julio Jarrell Mantilla Sanchez has achieved the rank of Eagle Scout and Boy Scout Troop 332. And whereas to achieve that rank, Julio earned merit badges in 31 disciplines, including swimming, which is his favorite sport, and citizenship and society, one of the first merit badges to teach scouts about diversity, equity, and inclusion, while fostering a culture of respect, which contributed to him earning a Bronze and Gold Palm Award. And whereas during his time in Scouts, Julio held the positions of quartermaster, webmaster, and senior patrol leader for nearly 3 full years, and is a certified lifeguard and water safety instructor. And whereas Julio graduates this spring from Rush Henrietta Senior High School, where he was a member of the varsity track and field team and co-captain of the varsity swim team, being recognized with the Spring Memorial Sportsmanship Award and Section 5 championships in 2021, and as a scholar by the Ibero-American Action League and Urban League of Rochester. Julio has been accepted to Alfred State College, where he will be pursuing a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering technology with a minor in business administration. And whereas for his Eagle Scout project, Julio led a team of 15 volunteers who improved a pathway, installed stormwater pipes and trenches, and built a bridge to connect the east entrance campsites to the lakeshore portion of Beechwood State Park, earning Project of the Month in February from the Erie Trails Council. Therefore, be it resolved that the Henrietta Town Board joins the Loyal Order of the Moose Family Center, number 2290, sponsors of Troop 332, and recognizing the achievement and honor of Julio Jarrell Mantilla Sanchez in attaining the rank of Eagle Scout.
With his mom.
And I'll second.
Somebody get another picture with his mom then,
Yes.
Steve.
Yep. Be able to make it. Okay. I'd like to call up Tina, our town historian, for the presentation of the Historic Site Committee 2023 Architectural Heritage Award.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and members of the town board. I would like to present Bridget and Michael Andre. They are the owners of 5517 East River Road. 5517 East River Road was once part of the Endeavor Farm owned by Frank L. Martin. He was recognized as a grower of potatoes, beans, wheat, and hay, and a breeder of thoroughbred barred Plymouth Rock chickens. Now, Plymouth Rock chickens are one of the oldest breeds in the United States, recognized in Massachusetts in 1849, and their feathers are arranged in black and white and resemble bars. That's where the name came from. Built around 1914, their 2-story bungalow was called the Detroit and was ordered from the Aladdin Ready Cut houses. part of the North American Construction Company of Bay City, Michigan. The idea behind Ready Cut or kit houses was to save lumber, time, and money. Based on the principle that modern power-driven machines can be programmed to cut lumber more efficiently and at a lower cost than hand labor. The lumber was cut by machines, marked and numbered. The quality of the lumber and the timber it came from was guaranteed. And the kits also included the windows with glass and your brass locks and hinges for all the doors and nails of all sizes, paint, 2 coats of paint inside and out, and you could pick as many colors as you wanted. And they also offered either plasterboard or lath and plaster for lining the entire house. And there were complete instructions and illustrations for building the house. Now, Aladdin plasterboard was advertised as providing absolute protection against extremes in weather. It was positively fireproof, and it deadened sound. It would not crack with age or loosen from dampness the way that traditional lath and plaster did. The home builder was responsible for the foundation and the masonry, but the company sent them plans and the amount of material required for the type of foundation they selected, and they can choose concrete, stone, or brick. The price of the house was $936. And if you paid cash, you received a 5% discount, and that would cover your freight. Kit or ready cut houses were the precursor to the prefabricated homes that we see today. And I have a poster board over here that shows that this home does have several additions that were added to accommodate the families that lived in the house. Bridget and Michael have chosen to care for a house that reflects an important concept in home construction. And we are very grateful for the work they continue to do to maintain this home that is over 100 years old. So we all know that they definitely have lots of work. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And I believe you have.
We do.
Do you know, what did you, because you're on the historic side committee. Yep.
Okay. At least Thank you.
Mike also, he exited the scout program and the Link Scouts.
It takes a lot to get over that,
Yeah, that last one.
that Eagle Scout hump.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. Our first special use permit is special use permit application number 2023-022 Alliance Fleet, 6800 West Henrietta Road, to operate a business installing rhino linings, spray in truck beds. We have a representative here. Come on up. Introduce yourself and your relationship to the project.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Bell. I'm the CEO and president of Alliance Fleet.
Want to give us a little description of what you're looking to do here?
Yeah, sure. We have a main address, which is down a little farther down on West Henrietta Road, outside of Henrietta. This particular facility, we are just looking to use the shop area to spray in bed liners into the beds of pickup trucks. We do a lot of work for major corporations around the country. We have a lot of vehicles that come through. They're brand new vehicles. I know there were some questions about the vehicles being unregistered on our lot. And that's because the vehicles come into us as new vehicles from Ford, General Motors, Ram, etc. It's just a pass-through. We do the work on the vehicles. They go and they get shipped back out to either a local car dealership or right directly to an end user.
Will they have dealer plates or will they just come right off the truck and never leave the parking lot?
They'll come right off the truck and never leave the parking lot.
Do you have space for that truck to get in and out? I wasn't sure. Are you working with a neighbor to kind of work on a loop?
We have actually more than adequate,
Okay.
without even, disrupting anything going on at Core Main.
Okay. Yeah, I just, that's one of the challenges we've had with some of these car dealerships that they overpack their parking lot. They can't get the car carriers in.
Mhm.
So they stop out on West Henrietta Road, which of course is not a great thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
You'll see that most of our vehicles are shipped a little bit different than a car dealership because they're bigger vehicles, they're vans and their trucks. They don't go on 10-car carriers very well.
gotcha.
So they're usually come in on a flatbed, only 2 or 3 at a time.
Oh, yeah. So flatbed will have no problem. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
For those who aren't familiar with it, this is across from Cantal. It's on the corner, the northeast corner of West Henrietta Road and Rush Henrietta Town Line Road. So,
All right, so it's just within the Henrietta border, is
Yep.
that what we're looking at? And so the trucks are bringing in the vehicles, and I'm assuming that they're also going to be taking them to deliver them to the.
Yes. Some of our vehicles get dropped to us down at our other facility. We do have dealer plates and transporter plates. So I'm just giving you as much transparency as I can.
Yeah,
Some will come in on the trailer, some will be driven from our other facility that received additional work at another facility, then brought up to here.
and there's also, I know it's not a big part of your business, but you also do some for essentially retail,
Very little.
very little.
Very little, and it's mainly truck caps that we do on the retail basis. And that's done at our other facility.
Okay.
okay.
I
So,
wasn't sure if like they meet you there and then you drive it here to do the actual
Yeah,
spray.
no, retail is not our thing.
Right.
We're very, very fleet oriented.
Gotcha.
and the nature of the chemicals and things that are going to be sprayed, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're doing this because it's a better environment there to contain those type of chemicals.
Well, it's in an industrial zoning. We're not in industrial zoning in Brighton in our other facility. The chemical is some people kind of laugh because, they think of these spray and bed liners as being this harsh chemical, and it's really not. It's 2 components. It's polyurethane, almost the same polyurethane that you get in a caulk gun. And then it's got a hardening component that comes together. The 2 pieces are in drums and they come in through a spray gun and they react together. And
So it's
then
essentially an epoxy.
it's very similar. Yeah. It's not, the people that spray it do wear a mask throughout the whole entire country. There's nobody that, it does not require any kind of a special booth, although we do have an exhaust fan system that does have exhaust, because there is a little bit of overspray.
No concerns about spills or drainage or anything along those lines?
None whatsoever. We have other facilities in the country where we do this same exact product.
Mhm.
And we've never experienced that.
Any questions? Is there anybody in the audience who has any questions, comments regarding this application? Okay, then hearing nothing further, I'm going to close the public hearing for special use permit application number 2023-022 Alliance Fleet. Is there anyone who wishes to put forth a motion?
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have application number 2023-022. I'm sorry, I make a motion to approve application number 2023-022 Alliance Fleet located at 6800 West Henrietta Road to operate a business installing Rhino linings spray in truck beds in an
Second.
industrial zone district. Sorry.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca,
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Congratulations and have you started the work on the modification of the building yet or?
No.
No, okay. So you'll need to see building department. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any site changes or is
Yeah,
it just
there's
all
really,
interior?
it's
minimal?
It's all really kind of set up for it. There's very
Gotcha.
little. The owner of the building is actually here and from Syracuse.
How you doing?
He's approved of everything as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Thank you
you.
all
luck.
very much.
Next up, we have special use permit application number 2023-023. Mogul Rochester LLC, 3679 West Henrietta Road, to operate a restaurant with sit down and takeout service, outdoor seating and a drive-through. Do we have a representative coming up?
Hi, everyone.
Introduce yourself and your relationship to the project.
Okay, my name is Lee Zhang. I'm the owner of the Mogul Tea.
You want to give a little description, of the project and what you're looking to do?
Yes, we're taking over the Burger King on the Henrietta. And then we're gonna turn into a fast food and the cafe, chicken wing and boba tea spaces. And the mainly, we're gonna just update the space. But the structure wise, we're not gonna change anything.
Great. Always happy to see a building reused rather than building something new. So
Mhm.
that's good. In terms of did that already have outdoor seating or no?
No, we not do any outdoor sittings. So,
Do you have indoor seating?
yes,
It's the old Burger King.
Mhm.
Yeah, the old one, yeah, up near Commerce.
Yep.
I don't have a whole lot of questions.
You have a.
I had my
drive-through-
first bubble tea the other day.
Your first.
I've never had bubble tea
I've
before.
always had
So when I was
Are
at
you serious? Oh,
when I was
bubble
at
tea
the-
is a huge hit in our house.
yeah,
at
it's
the
a
Wat
very,
Palau Buddha the celebration, I tried it.
it's a very trendy things. So, but we love this market, so we come like going to that.
I mean, chicken wings and bubble tea, I don't think that in our family is probably going to be a winning combo. So
Yeah.
You can't go
It's-
wrong with chicken wings,
No.
and I'm excited to try bubble tea, and so excited to see this building be repurposed.
yes.
As it's been kind of an eyesore, and to have something go in there like this, that's unique.
Yep.
Is really, really wonderful, so.
So
Thank you.
is there a drive-through window? Is that what I see here?
Yeah, it says
What-
drive.
Drive-through window,
Yes. Yep.
but it looks like there's enough for a passing lane too.
Yeah, so
Looks like there's
Right.
plenty of space.
from a site standpoint, that I'm sure that had to have been there for the Burger King. So
Okay. Yeah.
any questions or comments from the audience?
No.
Do we have anybody online, by the way? Other than?
We do, none with hands raised.
Okay. Okay, then hearing no further comments, I'm going to close the the public hearing for the special use permit application number 2023-023 Mogul Rochester LLC. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to accept permit application number 2023-20023 Mogul Rochester LLC, 3679 West Henrietta Road, to operate a restaurant with sit-down and takeout service, outdoor seating, and a drive-through.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca. Supervisor Schultz.
Congratulations. Do you have a date when you think you're going to open up?
We're gonna go through regular permit process and then probably in a month,
In a month
we're
or
gonna,
so?
yeah, clean it up.
If you want to send an email to supervisor@henrietta.org,
Okay,
I can hook you up with the Chamber of Commerce. They can do a ribbon cutting and stuff like that for you. So
great. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah,
good luck.
Thank you.
Next up, we have special use permit application number 2023-024, West Sunset Development LLC, West Henrietta Road, to construct a senior housing facility with 7 10-unit buildings. You could introduce yourself and your relationship to the
Yep.
project.
Hello, members of the board. My name is Joshua Saxton. I'm a civil engineer at Pazzer Associates. With me today is John, representing the client, and we're here to answer any questions you have. Just a brief introduction to the project. So it's pretty far south on West Henrietta Road, kind of in an open field, a little bit of vegetation and trees, and actually a stormwater pond on site. So as you said, this project's proposing a 70-unit senior housing facility. The senior units are going to be market rate. We actually already met with some town staff regarding the initial layout of the project, just to field some initial concerns or questions. The main one coming from that is the required buffering between basically multi-unit developments and single family, which this project's surrounded by. We originally had 60 feet, but that requirement is 100 feet. So we kind of shrunk everything in to achieve that 100-foot buffer to really kind of create a separation between this development and the surrounding uses. In addition to that, we added a crash gate to the secondary access, since that'll only be used for emergencies in case a fire truck needs to enter the facility, as well as adding a trail system around for the residents to go around the site as needed. If they can't get off the site, at least they'll be able to enjoy kind of the open amenity space of the site through the trail system. In addition to those improvements, we will be adding more stormwater quality and quantity control. Given that it's an open field now, adding impervious area, we're going to need more storage than what the pond can handle now, as well as more than likely a bioretention area to treat the stormwater from these impervious surfaces. And then also added was a leasing office just for, operations of the facility. So yeah, we are here to answer any questions that the board may have and field any concerns.
Do these townhouse units have parking, garages?
Yes, they do.
Okay, each
Yep.
one has one.
Yep, and then the driveways as well. And then there will be some parking, obviously, in the leasing office for people that are visiting, so they don't have to park in the road or in someone else's driveway.
The open recreation space is just a green space. There's not going to be anything specific there.
For now, it's just kind of a blanket now. I'm sure that may develop more as we go through the site plan approval process, if something specific they want there. But generally, yeah, it'll be just an open space for recreational use.
Yeah, basically, and because it's in that buffer area, you can't
Put like a
have structures
playground or
and type
something.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if maybe behind the easternmost townhouse, you have some room for like a gazebo or something like that along the path.
Yep.
If you wanted to do something along those lines, you would have to essentially get permission from that. So let's say you wanted to do it in I'll call it the northeast corner, north of the pond, east of that last townhouse, you'd have to get permission from that property owner to base, yeah, we instituted that because, now, of course, a lot of people seem to like to say that their realtor told them it was forever wild, which of course it isn't. But with that same token, if you're in a residential neighborhood, can be jarring to have a non-single family suddenly spring up next door. So that's the size of the buffer depends on the larger the impact to the adjoining property, the larger the buffer. So
I'm looking at this and forgive me, and if I'm missing it, I apologize. Are these single units or single levels?
They are 2 levels.
They're 2 levels?
Yeah.
And these are senior housing, correct?
Yes.
So is the master on the first floor?
I will have to double check on the floor plans of it, but I believe some of them are, first floor units as well as second floor units. Yeah.
if it's a second floor unit, is there an elevator inside or are they all stairwell in?
I believe they're all stairwell. Given that it's, market rate senior apartments, there are, even though it is somewhat rare, there are, seniors that,
So they're doubles. So the unit itself is on one floor, but there's they're stacked on top of each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
They're not townhomes where they each have a separate entry and they're up
No.
and down.
no, yeah.
Okay.
Well, each one does have a separate entry, right?
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes.
But I mean, it's
Yeah, I know what you
not,
meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
apologize
where
for
there's a firewall, a unit
Right.
up and down,
Right.
firewall unit up and down. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
So as far as the parking is concerned, I'm imagining the garage is just for one car, is that correct?
Yes,
So
And
the
then-
second space would be in the driveway?
yep,
Okay.
yeah. And so I think we're averaging about 2 spaces per dwelling unit, which is more than sufficient for a senior housing facility, given that they usually generate less traffic than a typical market rate apartment complex. So,
I guess the question I'm having, and forgive me for this, just because I'm asking a bunch of questions about this, is I'm surprised that you have senior housing where the units are on the second floor and there are stairs.
mhm,
It doesn't fit what senior housing is normally looking for. And my other job is real estate, so that's why I'm asking you these questions.
mhm.
So I'm just kind of surprised how that's going to work because most seniors don't want stairs. But I mean, I would imagine you've done your research and know that it just is surprising to me that you have units with the stair entry.
Mhm.
Do you have a breakdown by any chance of how many have first floor bedrooms?
I believe it's split down the middle. I'll have to consult the floor plan, which I didn't have with me, but I believe it's about 50-50 per unit. I think there might be a couple more first floor than second floor.
So these are market rate, correct?
Yeah.
Well, they're market rate senior, but
Yeah, so we'll get to that next.
Yep.
So what is the cutoff age to make it senior? Is it 55 or 60? What?
I believe it's 55, yes.
So you can't even apply for a residence unless you're at least 55?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be, 20-year-olds living in the senior housing development. So there are the requirements for getting a lease.
And what are you considering market rate? Do you know?
I do
Is it-
not know. I
is
don't know
it
if you
too
know.
preliminary to ask it? If it's too preliminary to ask it, I
Yeah,
totally get it.
I think it's too
Just
prelim-
curious.
Yeah, too preliminary at this
Okay,
time. so.
Okay.
yeah, I'm just I just want to check some.
All the units will have garages. You're saying will have access to a garage?
Yep.
And is there interior door from the garage to each unit, or do they have to go back out and come
I
back?
believe
in?
in interior doors, yes.
Okay. I'm just double checking on the density. It looked, I remember correctly, it's 6, but I just wanted to double check. Let's see. 6, yep, and I think I calculated you were at 5.7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you did see from the fire marshals, that he can't comment because you haven't listed the fire hydrants yet. You're aware
Yeah.
of that?
That'll come in the design for the site plan review.
Okay. When are you perceiving if you're hoping to start construction on this?
Well, we'll have to obviously go through this process and then the site plan approval process. And then once that's complete, it's
Next year?
later this year, next year, yes. So,
It's the same way, yeah.
All right, and this requires a special use permit because this is a rural residential zoned.
Any
multifamily
yeah,
Yeah.
any multifamily
or multi-unit, yeah.
requires special use permit, so. Any other questions? Any questions or comments from the audience? Any questions or comments online? Hearing none, then I'm going to close the public hearing for special use permit application number 2023-024 West Sunset Development LLC. Are there any restrictions that anyone or conditions anyone thinks needs to be on this? I will make the comment that I do think you're going to want to look at that design as to I would maximize the amount of first floor bedrooms as possible.
Mhm.
But again, I don't know if that's possible with the way the layout. If it's 5 on the first floor and 5 on the second floor, that's gonna be tough, but.
Yeah, I share Councilmember Bolzner's concern that this is senior housing and typically, we would look for things that were fully accessible. With that in mind, I think the one thing that I would be concerned about for a special use permit is that this be just for senior housing and not.
Yeah, so that is the case because it's the only type of multifamily that's allowed in the rural residential. I will note that, for instance, my cousins who are mid-60s, they just bought a place almost identical to this. There aren't any first floor bedrooms, so it's not.
No, I understand. It's not unheard of. It's
Right.
just that,
Although theirs were
Because-
first and second.
Well, and it is hard because as I sit here and he tells me the age of senior, I am beyond that age and I do stairs.
Right.
But I have a tendency to think senior is more my parents,
Right.
not myself.
Yeah.
So I do understand that. I guess I just think about people with mobility issues.
Yeah.
and things like that.
right, that's the
I-
thing is that for long term is that, even if they begin to have mobility issues, then
Guess they could move downstairs.
Then they move downstairs or, yeah. It's really hard when you say senior is 55.
I'm
but
sorry.
We do understand that.
Yep.
Maybe we can get an ice cream for a cheaper price now.
Okay. Is someone make a motion?
This is one that we can't act on tonight.
Oh,
Oh, right. Well, I was going to ask you that question. We have to wait.
okay, never mind. Then we will not hear a motion. Seeker is still pending. Okay,
Thank you.
well, thank you.
We'll be back.
Yep.
Thank you.
And last up, we have special use permit application numbers 2023-025 and 026. True by Hilton 355 Kenneth Drive to construct a 4-story 81-room hotel, application 25, and allow a building height of 56 feet, application 26. I believe this is a reapplication that this had been previously approved, but the project never went forth. I suspect COVID might have played into that, but was not a good time to be building
No,
hotels.
No, it wasn't. Good evening. I'm Mike Montalto with Costa Engineering. With me this evening is Tom Zwadowski with Rudra Management. I believe also online is Jayesh Patel and Stephanie Hunt from Silvestri Architects, in case there's any questions regarding the hotel operation or building architecture. We were before the town in 2017 and obtained use permits for the hotel use and for the height. There have been no physical changes to the project since then. The only difference that has occurred is when we were before the town before, they were under contract to purchase the property. They now own the property. Due to financial issues, then COVID, and then material availability, it was not the right time to build a hotel. They have their financing in place for this hotel and are now ready to move forward again. If you're familiar, I guess, with any of the stuff that's been going on in the financial world, travel and all that is up from a spending standpoint versus a lot of other areas. So hotels are doing well and they're poised to move forward with this. As I indicated, it was previously, it both were approved. It had actually gone to the planning board and had received final site plan approval in 2017 as well. We've reapplied to the planning board for site plan application and are scheduled for a meeting Tuesday night to restart that process. We have received some technical in nature comments regarding pushing the plans across the finish line, from when it stopped before signatures in 2017. They're all primarily technical in nature. There's been a change in some staff. Fire marshal is looking for some wider drive aisles for the fire truck apparatus. None of that changes our site plan layout. The building is 100% as it was originally designed. As indicated, it's an 81-room hotel, meets all the rest of the zoning criteria. It had previously gone through the seeker process and had been voted on. Believe that town staff had checked with council and had indicated that since there have been no projects or no changes in the projects, that the seeker determination doesn't expire.
So one of the things that is a little bit different
Mhm.
Since then is this administration pays a bit more attention to green space.
Yep.
I'm curious what your green space percentage is. It's a little hard to tell from the image because I don't know what the red and gold and gray color in this image represents. It's on the plans. I didn't see it.
So the green area, the bright green area is lawn area, the red and all the rest, the red and multicolors around the buildings are, landscape features.
Okay. Which obviously counts as green space,
Yeah,
even if it's red flowers.
I don't have the specific lot coverage data, but in our evaluation before and in town comments, we had not been over the zoning ordinance. We do have to update the landscaping plan based on changes in town code for diversity in species. We were before the conservation board last week, and that was primarily the only dialogue really there was that, which we're aware of through our other projects with the town, that, there's a change in that ordinance, and the landscaping plan needs to be revisited to make sure that we've got the proper diversity of species, et cetera. So that will be being updated. And like I said, the main drive aisles at the north, south, and eastern portion of the site, will be widened by 2 feet to give the 26 feet according to, for the ladder trucks. We've got plenty of space to do that. There's some technical, like I said, stormwater comments out of Vanguard, similar to what was there before. State DOT did comment on the Monroe County Development Review Committee memo regarding it being a hotel use and whether or not any traffic needed to be looked at. We talked to Zach Starkey at DOT yesterday and discussed that, the 81-room hotel only creates roughly 35 trip gens at PM peak. And that, all he needed was a trip gen letter, especially since that was looked at extensively with the Taco Bell that was recently done and the work that SRF did relative to that. And those signals are all coordinated. It went through, like I said, from town staff, at least from a site plan standpoint, rather rigorous. We made it all the way to the final,
Right.
To having obtained final site plan approval, and we're now, going back through that process.
Yeah.
Relative
This
to
may
when
be-
this project may happen, their financing is in place. And if they could, they'd walk out of this meeting today to try to start. So they're eager to go. Rudver Management also, by the way, has over 25 hotels in their portfolio through Western New York, Syracuse, Rochester, Northwest Pennsylvania, Georgia, Delaware, except, so they're not new to the hotel management.
Great.
scheme.
This may be a planning board issue more than, are you aware of the fire marshal's comments? Okay. And you,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, we had no issue with those, that's what I was referring to relative to the, the truck access, making the lanes
Right.
26 feet instead of 24 and, yep.
Thank you.
Any other board comments? Any comments from the public? Or online? Hearing no further comments, I'm going to close the public hearing for special use permit application numbers 2023-025 and 026, True by Hilton. I'm going to make the motion because I want to add one condition. Fellow board members, I motion that we approve special use permit applications.
Oh, we do have prepared resolutions, 13-216 and 217.
Okay, great. The only thing I just wanted to make sure is that, I don't know what's on it. I want to make sure that since he didn't have the green space numbers, I want to make sure it meets the green space. That in other words, for the site plan, so. So that will be in the agenda. Okay, so we're gonna do the resolution later. I didn't know they were already prepared.
So it looks like there does need to be a seeker resolution.
We have one because it was previously,
Well, 13-216, isn't that a seeker resolution?
yeah,
Yeah. And you have it.
yeah. Oh, I guess, okay, I see how they're on there.
So this is Chris Martin, Director of Engineering and Planning. Yes, there is a secret resolution for this one and also a two special use permits, one for the use and one for the height.
Yeah, the seekers.
Chris, do you have anything, because I couldn't find it on the stuff we have in ours as to what the green space percentage is here?
We usually ask to put it on the drawings, and I don't believe that the set that I have for the planning board had that on there. I can check.
If it was on there, I couldn't find it.
You're correct, Chris. It's not, it's not on the.
But I'm sure Mike will put that on there when it comes to the planning board meeting or after the planning board meeting. So, but yeah, we'll certainly find that out. Well, Michael can calculate that and give that to us prior to the planning board meeting.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write out jump ahead a little bit, but when we make the motion for 217, I'd like us to add a third condition. Oh, is there another? No. Is there? I've got two.
There's two.
One is that the project
seeker.
shall be constructed and operated as a hotel. 2, the project shall be developed and operated consistent with a concept most recently submitted prior to approval, subject to any modifications approved by the planning board during its site plan review.
Okay.
And so I'd like to add 3, the project shall meet the required, what is it, 30%, Chris?
It can vary from project to project. I mean, typically we like to see between 20 and 30%. If you go along some of the plazas on Jefferson Road, we're lucky if we have 15 to 20.
Yeah, those are older ones, but I mean, since we've been doing it newer. And I
Yeah.
realize this one's somewhere in between because it started.
Right, back in 2017. I mean, like I said, ideally, we like to see 25 to 30%. And if they can't meet that, then typically we like to see additional landscaping provided. But the conservation board, I know they've looked at it and they had comments. I just can't remember offhand what those comments were.
I'm just trying to think how we're gonna word it. Do we put a hard number or do we ask that the planning board address?
My suggestion would be the planning board, and the reason I say that is because they have the conservation board comments that they can look at as well. And by then, Mike will have the amount of green space provided.
And we've always
about-
been agreeable to providing additional landscaping if that's
Right.
necessary, if we're space constrained on the actual dimensions of the lot.
And that's kind of in a sense addressed by the fact that we're saying it needs to be developed consistent with the concept plan. But you could also, put a comma in there and mention green space specifically.
So my thought was, the other thing that happens too is it's not necessarily part of the parcel, but there is essentially the lawn between the edge of pavement and the edge of the right of way. That does essentially add to it's not technically part of your parcel, but it does add to the overall green space. So I was gonna write it, the project shall meet green space requirements as dictated, or well, I was gonna say by the planning board.
I wrote one to the satisfaction of the planning.
That's good. I like that. To this.
I already have it.
Okay, perfect. So. Okay, so when you make your motion,
Make it with
just
the third. I got it.
perfect.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Okay, so I will start since we have to start with the seeker. Okay. Fellow board members, I have resolution 13-216, 2023 to issue a negative declaration for True by Hilton.
Second.
Any further discussion on the seeker? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow town board members, I have resolution number 13-217/2023 to approve special use permit numbers 2023-025 and 026 by True Hilton to allow the development of a 4-story hotel with an increased maximum building height. I would also like to emphasize the 3 conditions in the special permit that the project should, number 1, the project shall be constructed and operated as a hotel. Number 2, the project shall be developed and operated consistent with the concept most recently submitted prior to approval and subject to any modifications approved by the planning board during the site plan review. And number 3, the project shall meet the green space requirements provided to the satisfaction of the planning board.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. I like the wording, Rick. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. Next
Thank
one.
you.
We're all set?
Yep, that did 2 together. Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Same thing, if you want to do a ribbon cutting, you can send me an email. I can put you in touch with the Henrietta Chamber of Commerce.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Congratulations.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-218, 2023 to authorize and or ratify the following agreements executed between May 22nd, 2023 and June 9th, 2023.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-219, 2023 to authorize bills payable and any associated contracts or agreements from May 25th, 2023 through today, June 15th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13-220, 2023 to declare intent to be lead agency for seeker review of the proposed Whitestone mixed-use development, including the proposed 175 unit multifamily dwelling project known as Henrietta Whitestone Apartments.
Second,
If I may, where is this going in?
this
at?
is the old Growmore property. But the project, the mixed-use development involves the Growmore property, the Dome property, and a couple of the Spalletta properties that are near the library.
So when we do the seeker, we will be able to address the height.
We will. And we did meet with them the other day. I gave them a foreshadowing, told them that there was concern expressed during the workshop, so they should start thinking about what they can do to reduce the height, especially up near the road
Okay.
and or the density.
So this is just calling for a seeker.
This
We're
is
not
just calling
making
for
any
seeker.
decisions. We're
No.
just investigating.
Correct. And their first public hearing, their first meeting, it'll be before the 30 days. So us basically telling them to, in other words, when they hear, if you have recommended changes that you need them to make in order for them to prove, it's not going to delay their project at all. So like I said, I gave them a warning that there were a number of concerns raised at the workshop, so that they start thinking about it. So
Perfect. Thank you.
any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 13-221, 2023. To call for a public hearing on a proposed local law to update the dog code, including for safekeeping of dogs.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow town board members, I have resolution number 13-222/2023 to authorize the town to hire Tyler Ellis of Morgenstern Devosick PLLC to serve as the real estate attorney to complete the sale of the town cell tower.
Seconded.
So Tyler had suggested back that we do a general services agreement going forward, because we've got a couple others. So like the parkland alienation / land swap that's going to happen over at the Riverton Golf Course / Riverton Parcel A. That's going to need a real estate attorney. There's a couple other stuff. I didn't want to change things out at the last minute, so I told them, send us the engagement letter for this project. The range is pretty broad because we haven't seen anything from Wireless Edge yet. So depending on the complexity of the agreement that they want us to review, will dictate that. He expects it to be towards the lower end, but he said some of these, they get pretty exotic. Hopefully that won't be the case here, but and then, like I said, what we'll probably take a look at is then sometime at a subsequent meeting, we'll look at just essentially hiring them as a, in a general services, such as for, and then what we may do is just each, what do you call it, organizational meeting, we could actually just have them on so that we have a real estate attorney for when we need real estate services. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution 13-223/2023 to standardize the fire alarm system equipment for the town to be compatible with West Fire Systems.
Seconded.
Don't know why that word was so difficult.
So, one of the things is we were looking at and doing this in terms of going out and getting quotes. the challenge you have is if you just open it up to anybody and the lowest quote, you may get a system that isn't compatible with the rest of our buildings. So the way that's handled in municipal law is to standardize on a particular system. And so, you know, we essentially already do that for some other stuff, such as like our tractors are all John Deere. Now, the difference there is there are multiple John Deere dealerships, so we can get multiple quotes. But for something like a West Fire system, there's a dealer in, you know, the area. So that's basically why we have to look to pass this resolution to standardize.
Makes a big difference when you need parts as well.
It does. And again, the interplay between the two, because then it's all one control panel.
Right.
At the DPW, we don't have to have multiple control panels, multiple software packages. It's all
Makes
one.
sense.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-224, 2023 to authorize the purchase of a fire alarm system from West Fire Systems Incorporated for the sewer and drainage garage.
Second.
So again, this will be the system we're going to put in for the sewer drainage garage. The fire marshal and our deputy town supervisor, they looked it over and made sure that it meets our requirements and that there aren't extraneous charges or stuff like that on there. So any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13-225, 2023 to authorize Billatier Electric to install a fire alarm system for the sewer and drainage garage.
Second. So while the equipment is sole source, there we were able to go out and get multiple quotes from an installer. It's below the $10,000 limit, but because it's installing a system that is over 10,000, we felt it made sense to put it through the town board. Any further questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 13-226, 2023. It's a call for quotes to farm town-owned land located on Erie Station Road that is used as a sledding hill in the winter.
Second.
So the land currently has hay on it, and it's actually getting close to needing to be harvested. Someone approached us about doing that. They essentially said, well, we'll mow it for you for free, essentially, if I can bail and take the hay. We can't really do that, but we can do what we've done with the other ones, where we go out and call for quotes from farmers. So they'll offer some amount per acre. I don't expect it to be a whole lot, because one of the things we're requiring is that the only crop here can be hay, because we don't want something that's requires furrows and stuff that's going to ruin the sledding hill. And then the other thing we require is that they can only have crop in there during the non-winter months, which I know in Rochester seems like half the year, but we defined it. I don't know if it's in this. I wrote the next resolution as well, because we had to have the lease agreement, but it was from March 21st, which is technically the first day of spring, through, and we stopped at November 30th. Technically, winter doesn't start till December 21, but there's often snow
In November.
in November, right? But we figure snow in November, it's not going to accumulate enough for sledding. But so if there's a late harvest, although I suspect living in and amongst hayfields on my road, they're typically harvested before Thanksgiving, so. Not always, but. And then the idea is we'll then mow it flat, so it'll be good for sledding, and then it'll be up to the farmer to renew the hay crop every year. Yeah, so
Bid too, right?
that's included in the bid, yeah. The bid, like the other ones,
Is it for 1 year?
it's for 2 years.
2 years,
wi-
okay.
Well, with the option to renew. But obviously it's cancelable it's actually cancelable at any time by the town. If we cancel it at a time when they have planted but not harvested, we essentially reimburse them for the money that they spent to put the crop in the ground. But that way the town isn't tied to, if we need to change something, we can, but
Well, you don't typically reseed hayfields. They come up on their own.
they do. Sometimes like I said, I'm not a farmer, but if there is any reseeding or weeding or anything like that required, it's up to them to do it.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Comment, hopefully
Comment?
there'll be snow this year.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
will be able to sled
To
on the
use our
sledding hill.
sledding hill.
They
That
did
is
use
true.
it some, and I am probably gonna build my son's Eagle project, so to speak. So I had tried to encourage him to do an Eagle project for the sledding hill, which was a little bit of a launch platform. So I am probably gonna build it myself. I might even try and get him to help me with it. And then the idea is we'd have it over, we'd have to.
You're putting a launch platform.
Yeah, I'm kind of,
at the
as
sledding hill?
a mom sitting over here, I'm thinking,
So basically, all it is it's essentially a slide, and I have this on my house. Now, I built mine with a truck, I think it was 130 truckloads of dirt. When they were doing the new extension to Volmer School,
Mhm.
they had to move the dirt somewhere, and I knew the company that was moving, and I said, dump it here. But the thing is, at the slope it's at, you don't get a good run unless you have to try to do that running jump on the sled kind of start, which isn't for most people. So it's not a super tall thing, but it's something to get that initial speed
Oh, okay. So it's to launch the kids down.
Get you going.
down the hill, not at the end. No, it's not to launch them out into the parking lot.
I don't know. It sounds like sledding party at Steve's house this winter.
Apparently.
It is a very long sled run, I will tell you that. And my kids are too old to do it. So if you got kids or grandkids who want to sled,
Who's
come on
too
over.
old?
I don't know.
No, no.
Oh, no, there's that age when you're a teenager and
You're
it's,
too
you're
cool.
too
It's not
cool.
that you're too old, you're too cool.
Well, they say they're too old.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's not that am I too old? It's more that do I want to get broken?
We digress.
we do digress. Any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-227/2023. To authorize the purchase of sand for the reconstruction of the sand traps at the Riverton Municipal Golf Course from Jernat.
Seconded.
So I spoke to Charlie yesterday or today, I can't remember which day it was. I guess it was this morning. And he actually went out to another golf course that uses this exact sand. It is white. It's a little bit off-white. He described it as the color of French vanilla ice cream. And he also checked to make sure it had good granularity because the trait in the sand bin is different than the trait in the sand trap. He said it looked really good and it worked really well. And, he said, he called me a little concerned because he knew I said white. And I said, Charlie, off-white is white. Today we have tan or beige. So it'll be nice to have, improved traps.
Compared to what we've had before, they'll think they're at Oak Hill.
Yeah. Any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-228-2023 to authorize the purchase of sod for the reconstruction of the sand traps at the Riverton Municipal Golf Course.
Seconded.
So this resolution's a little bit unusual in that we don't have a vendor yet. We actually have multiple vendors. We have quotes. The problem is the quotes will change depending on when we actually buy the sod. So the idea is we just wanted to get this approved so that they can do the work, because you didn't want to tear it all up and then not approve the sod. So we figured we'd approve the sod now. We don't expect it to come in at 12,000, but we wanted a high end just in case there's a sudden run on sod this summer and the prices go up. But basically, you have to go out for quotes. Quotes on sod are only good for a couple days. Typically because it's based off of availability. It might be more than a few days, but it's not a long time. And so what'll happen is we'll go back out for quotes per our purchasing policy. We'll go back out for quotes when we're ready to actually move on the sand. We'll give them the amounts, we'll get the prices, and we'll go with the best price. Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-229-2023 to declare items surplus materials from the finance department and the town clerk's office.
Second.
Any further discussion? Or any initial discussion, I guess I should say. Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13-230-2023 to adopt the attached capital asset policy for the town.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik.
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 13-231, 2023 to approve the cybersecurity insurance renewal as negotiated by one group on behalf of the town.
Second.
I will note that through our diligence, and thank you to everybody who has been taking the courses and paying attention and not clicking on dangerous stuff. It did go up, but compared to how most policies went up, it's essentially in the insurance world, cybersecurity insurance world, it's basically flat. It went up, I think, 6%, but most places have been seeing double-digit increases or
Wow.
more. So that's a testament again to our IT staff as well as all of our employees who have increased their diligence with regards to, cyber attacks. Any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-232/2023 to adopt the draft master plan for Educators Grove at Hoskins Park.
Seconded.
So I'd like to give a special shout out to Sarah Hogan, who's a member of our conservation board, through her experience working at environmental design and research, or EDR. She's a landscape architect. She created this, the draft master plan that we're putting forth to adopt. And did a great job. And thank you to everybody who participated in the design charrette and provided additional comments. It should be pretty exciting. I'll also note that we have some folks who are ready to donate some stuff for this park. we have an Eagle Scout who's going to be working on some, I think it was benches. I'm not 100% positive, but I saw there was an Eagle Scout who was interested in helping out with this project. We have a group who is donating a tree and plaque commemorating a principal. Rick, I know you know which the elementary school principal. Oh, I thought
One
you,
coming up,
yeah,
that's Dr. Cantor from Roth Middle School.
yeah, thank you.
High school, actually. Yes, that's coming up.
Yep. And so like I said, very excited about this project. I think it'll make good use of Hoskins Park because it's always kind of just been there as it with its location between the wedge of Pinnacle and Winton. It did not make for a good location for, playgrounds or ball fields or anything like that. So I think this is a great use of that space.
I love the development of these little pocket parks here in Henrietta. I think they do really help preserve green space and kind of enhance the
Could
the
you,
whole
could you
community.
do, I'm sorry. Could you do me a favor? Could you check with Sarah? I think the dedication for Dr. Cantor, which is later on in the month, I was told it was at Roth.
The tree is going at Roth, but they can't have there was like a granite or some kind of plaque
Mhm.
That will go.
monument that's going to go over at here. And I think they're looking, they might even raise money to get a second tree for
Okay.
over here in the park.
Okay.
But yes,
Thank you, sir.
the initial donation was at Roth, and there is going to be a tree going at Roth,
Okay.
but there's some prohibition against memorial plaques on the school grounds. Yeah, so
Is it the Alumni Association? Are they doing the selections of this or how's?
it's that Educators Grove Committee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Thank you.
And included on that committee, there's a representative from town. There's a representative from the school district. And then there's a number of I'll call them, residents who are on the committee. So
Excellent. Thank you.
any further questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Blanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-233, 2023 to proclaim June 26th through July 2nd as Pride Week in the town of Henrietta.
Seconded.
So one of the things, the ceremony is the night of our workshop. So our plan is to get through the workshop agenda quickly. And then go right to the ceremony. If there's anybody who's not going to be here, let me know, because what we typically do, we read the full resolution at the flag raising ceremony, and I basically just color code it so we each have a portion. But obviously, if someone's not going to be able to make it for some reason, I need to divide it into fourths instead of fifths. Any other questions, comments?
I think we have a member of the public here.
We do. And I have flyers for you. I was battling the copier, so I've got a good number, but not to the amount she was
Full amount.
looking for, but yes. Okay, any other questions, comments? Did you wish to say anything or? Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
You
the-
can
the
come
big
right
mic-
up to the microphone.
Yep, yep.
Just introduce yourself and
Hi, my name is Julia Acosta. I'm a Henrietta resident and one of the folks helping to organize the Pride Festival, and I forgot what it's called officially. Pride Fest. We'll call it that.
Sounds good.
And I just wanted to say thank you to all of y'all for helping to support our event and just kind of making Henrietta a lot more inclusive and supportive. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I know Webster has their little town motto, but I prefer Henrietta. And this is going to be our 5th year. I think we have a great event, great space, and I just want to thank all of you for your continuing support. And I welcome all y'all to come. We've put a lot of work into our event, and I love food trucks, so hopefully y'all do too.
Oh, and everyone will have a chance to make a tutu. And so, if there's anybody that would like to show off their tutu or any other things, there's going to be a youth fashion show. So strongly encourage any young people to come out and show their stuff.
You got the name right, Henrietta Pride Fest. It's June 26th, 5:30 to 8 o'clock. Flag raising ceremony, food trucks, youth fashion show, bounce houses, Flower City Pride Band, lawn games, volleyball, make your own tutu, craft vendors, author's corner, Henrietta Community Chorus, vendors, and community partners. So a lot of.
I gotta hold
stuff
on
going
to a
on.
few for my.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner.
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-234, 2023 to ratify the proclamation celebrating the Yacht Sofa ceremony for the new temple at Wat Ba Lao.
Just get back to our
Second.
seat.
Mhm.
I will say, the event was amazing. They had the Laotian ambassador to the United States was there. There were 40 Buddhist monks. Some of them are resident, but there were a lot who had traveled to be at this event. The new building itself is impressive. It's got a much larger temple than space than they used to have. The shrine is still there for those who love to photograph the shrine. That will always, that will stay, but this is a new larger prayer space behind, and then it also has a kitchen on the lower level for when they're and then areas for the monks. There's basically upstairs is like I'll call it the temple area, and then down below is more like recreational space and general use. So it was pretty neat. And again, on the 25th, Sunday, the 25th, there is the temple is having a food festival. If you've never been to it, it's pretty amazing. Large numbers. So many people showed up last year that they actually ran out of food by 3 o'clock or 3:30. So if you're going to go, I recommend you get there early. It opens at noon.
I'm doing 12:15.
There you go.
Get out of church at 12 and there at 12:15 lunch.
Yeah. So, and again, if the building itself is amazing, bring a camera. The ceremony's really neat. So,
I really appreciate that there's places like this Wat Pa Lao that feel at home here in Henrietta and are continuing to really to build their center of worship and community right here in our town.
And I'll say I asked them, I was curious, there are only 3 such temples in upstate New York. So outside the New York City area, one's in Buffalo area, if I remember, one's in Rochester and one's in Binghamton. So their draw is pretty large when they have these festivals. And again, they do a phenomenal job there. Just wonderful people. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, fellow town board members, I have resolution 13-235-2023 to proclaim the start of the Maha Kumbh Abi Shekhem Consecration Festival for the Hindu Temple of Rochester.
Second. So, this celebration happens every 12 years. They reconsecrate the temple. This is the second such, so this is their 24th year in town. It runs for multiple days, but it basically opens on June 21st. And I will be there to read the resolution.
Time, Steve, on June 21st, you
Yeah.
know?
I've got to look it up.
Hindu Temple of Rochester says there's.
Yeah, 11:45.
11:45.
Yep.
And that's the one over in.
So it's 120 Pinnacle Road. It's right near Firehouse 5.
Yep.
It's right near the Hoskins Park that we just looked at. It's right across the street, so.
Super.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, I think again, it's just fantastic that there's so many places that are making their home here and I really appreciate that they are also embracing the community in Henrietta and inviting us in to celebrate with them.
Yeah, and again, just wonderful people. They didn't want to send an invite by mail. They actually stopped into the office and wanted to present it in person and answer questions. As you know, learning new religions and it's really interesting to see the different religions and celebrations and things from essentially around the world that, you know, again, get brought here by people moving to the United States. So it's and or second or third generation, you know, it's really neat because otherwise my only experience is on TV shows, which of course are not necessarily accurate. So. Any further comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. Fellow board members, I have resolution 13-236, 2023 to make appropriate budget transfers.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-237/2023 to hire personnel and make the attached changes.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranek,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Councilmember Belanca.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye.
Supervisor Schultz and
Actually,
fellow-
before you make a motion, I'd like to discuss this one because we have a decision to make.
Okay.
So there's two versions of this. And basically what this is there was a lot of comments I received from residents asking whether we could put wind screening around the pickleball court since the wind whips through the field. And we talked to the fence company, and to do that, we would need to strengthen the vertical pipes, and then we would have to add a center crossbar. The cost to add this, to go to the larger pipe is about $2,000. And the cost to add the crossbar is about $5,000. We had talked, they said we could save money by lowering the fencing in between the two pickleball courts from 10 feet to 4 feet. And so my original thought was, oh, that's going to be a wash for the larger diameter pipes because the poles, the horizontal poles can be added later, but the pipe has to be put in now. Well, I was wrong. The reduction in the price from the to drop to 4-foot interior fence was only $750 of savings. That's about, it's over 26 feet. And whereas the cost to go to larger pipe, like I said, is a little over $2,000. Now that's 270 feet of fence that would need the larger diameter pipe. We've asked for a full breakdown of, because the fence itself is $77 per linear foot. So some of these seem high to me. I want to see how they break down in the full what that $77 gets you if they break that down, because it seems to me that seems like an awful large increase for just going from a 2.5-inch pipe to a 3-inch pipe. But with that said, this is the proverbial long pole in the tent, or in this case, the long pole in the fence. So we wanted to get it authorized at this. I don't know, in other words, that could be right, for lack of a better way to put it. It just feels high to me. But we haven't gotten a feedback. So our decision we have to make, the one we do have to do now, in my opinion, if we're ever going to be able to put the windscreen up, we have to do the 3-inch pipe. We could, if we're all for doing the windscreen sooner rather than later, then it makes sense to do the larger amount, which would add $7,293 to the project, because then they could do it all at once.
But that doesn't include the cost of the windscreen,
It
right?
does not include the cost of the windscreen,
Is it,
but that wouldn't be done by them. That would be done by our staff afterwards.
is it windy when it's windy or is it?
And I know that sounds like a.
I
stupid thing.
understand what you're
I'm saying
saying,
it
that
just-
there's always seems to be some wind through there.
Right.
Yeah, because of its wide open nature, there is, coming from the west, there does seem to be often a wind. It would certainly, so I mean, it would greatly increase the number of days that you could play out there without being adversely affected by the wind. Obviously, if it's still really windy, the windscreen's not going to stop that, but for most of certainly any breezes and even some stiffer breezes to, moderate winds, it should be able to help for that too.
And there's 2 courts that are going to be there?
There are 8 courts that are going to be there.
And so the windscreen would help all 8 of those
Correct.
courts?
Yep. It would also help a little bit on the tennis courts. By the time you get to the basketball courts, probably not as much, but
Okay.
and again, a basketball isn't as or a tennis ball is not as affected as the pickleball because it's a plastic wiffle ball.
My opinion is that we should definitely do what we need to do so that down the road, we're not spending twice as much to correct
Right.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily, like I said, that's why to me, we have to do the 2,000 now.
Right, that's what I,
But the cross members could be added later, or we could just have them do it now and get it done
Right.
out of the way.
yeah, I'm good with doing it now. I
Oh, right, the
feel
first
like it's
time.
important.
Okay,
I think we can at least do the, the maximum allowance, and then if
Right.
you find that, your gut feeling.
if I can
You
get
can
them to
always
come
go
down,
in under.
right, if I can get them to come down in price,
Right,
right,
right.
yep, yep. Okay, so then the one you're going to move is what's labeled as the alternate version.
Do you want me to read that?
It has
so
the
we
200 and, I would say just
Just say that it's the alternate version? or-
and that it's the $2 amounts, the increase is the 7,293 and the total is 201,102.
Okay. Supervisor Schultz and fellow board members, I have resolution number 13-238, 2023 to increase the not to exceed amount for Veterans Memorial Sports Courts in order to add wind screening support. Whereas the town has received a quote from Craftco Incorporated of $7,293, which would bring the total cost to $201,102.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? I know everybody just got the vote of all the pickleball players. Hearing no further comments, please call the roll.
Councilmember Safranik,
Aye.
Councilmember Bolsner,
Aye.
Councilmember Page,
Yay.
Councilmember Blanca,
Thank you,
Aye.
Ray.
Supervisor Schultz.
Aye. I couldn't steal his thunder and repeat it. That'd be plagiarism. That concludes our resolutions. Do we have any discussion items or comments from the public? Hearing and seeing none. Do we have any committee or miscellaneous reports from the board?
I have a library report. I spoke to the librarian, Adrian, and the last Friends Bookshop sale that they had was fabulous. So please clean out your basements, your bookshelves. They need more donations. They need books, puzzles, games, CDs, DVDs. Any of those items that you have, the library is in need of those items. So if you have them, please donate them to the library. And then Wednesday, June 21st from 6 to 8 p.m., the library is hosting a summer solstice and they're celebrating learning about all things solar. Solar themed, oh gosh, I can't talk tonight. Solar themed events for all ages. Again, it's from 6 to 8 p.m., Wednesday, June 21st, the longest day of the year. And it will be in the side parking lot. They're also going to have primary voting going on, so you could do two things at the same time. That's all I have.
Any others?
I attended the fire commissioners meeting Tuesday. They did they had their annual financial audit presented by the people that did it. And at the end, they asked me for some comments, and I mentioned to them and they confirmed that they're on top of, we now have under construction 9 hotels and apartment complexes, which has a direct effect on, their, but it was a good meeting. We're all set.
The only one I have, just let you know, the newsletter went to the press this morning. So hopefully it'll be out sometime next week. That's it. Then hearing nothing further, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion, but while I'm adjourning, happy Father's Day to all the dads that sit on our town board and our attorney. I hope everybody has an awesome
And all our
Sunday, and all of the other people out there. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
I just remembered it was Father's Day.
Hearing no objection.